Good evening, Christians United for Israel. My name is Kasim Hafeez and I am CUFI's Middle East Analyst, and I'm here in Jerusalem. We are in the capital of Israel, the Western Wall behind me. The sun is going down on this wonderful evening. I wanted to speak to CUFI U today very briefly about standing with Israel. Today, CUFI has over 7 million members proudly standing with Israel. We have hundreds of events all over the country every single day, and we have our showpiece Washington DC Summit. So like I said, we're here in Jerusalem. The last year, we're in December, the final month of the year. The last year has been a very perilous one for Israel. We've had hundreds of rockets fired from the Gaza Strip. You've had rockets fired from Syria. The threat from Iran on the Israeli border with Syria has grown, I would say, more perilous than any time in Israel's modern history. You have the other threats from other terror groups in the region. You have, of course, Hezbollah in Lebanon, who seem to be gaining more and more power within the state. And then, of course, the threat from Iran, who is orchestrating so much of the terrorism on Israel's borders. But the interesting thing to me is that with all of these threats, with all of these very real dangers that not only put the existence of the state of Israel, but the very existence of the Jewish people in peril, here in Israel, here in Jerusalem, Israel is thriving. Here you see a country which is truly thriving. You have a vibrant people, diversity, so many technological innovations. It truly is incredible to see that you have these two diametric opposites. On their borders, they are surrounded by the hatred of Hezbollah, Hamas, Iran, but within the country, you're seeing incredible things happening. In its borders, you're seeing incredible advancements. You're seeing people going about life, and I think that's incredible, and I think it's something that you have to experience, and we can't forget that. But by that same measure, those threats are very real. Those threats are directly impacting Israel's future today. And you may be watching this and going, what can I do? I'm one person. Look, I want to remind you that as an American, you live in the most powerful nation on earth. And I feel that God has given us a responsibility there. We live in a country which has so much influence and is the best friend that Israel has in the world. And by reciprocation, America has no better friend than Israel. I've said this many times, but when America has been in need, Israel has stood with us. Well, after 9/11 happened, sadly, all around the borders of this country, you had people celebrating the Twin Towers being brought down. In Israel, they were mourning others. Just a couple of miles away here in Jerusalem, you have the only 9/11 memorial which has the names of every single victim of those terrorist attacks. When New Orleans, when Hurricane Katrina struck, Israel was there. When we've had natural disasters, other tragedies in our country, Israel has been there to stand with us. And that's why I believe we have to reciprocate, and we do. But you as an individual can have the power to make genuine change. You have the power to stand with Israel. You have the responsibility, because we look at this region and there is so much danger, so much oppression. You have very few democracies in this region. You have very few countries where you have people from diverse backgrounds existing. In Israel, you have Christians, Jews, Muslims, you have synagogues, churches, mosques. That is not the norm in the Middle East. That is almost the exception to the rule. So just as Americans who stand with liberty, stand with freedom, this is something that we must stand for. But even more so, as Christians, the roots of our faith are Jewish. The Jewish people don't need Christianity to explain their heritage, but the Christians need the Jewish people to explain our heritage. And in Israel, our heritage is protected. You've seen Christian sites being demolished, destroyed, Christian populations decimated all over the Middle East. In Israel, the Christian population has grown. In Israel, Christian sites of pilgrimage and worship are preserved and respected. We are in a stage in history where there are forces which seem to destroy freedom, who have made it their goal to destroy Israel, destroy America, destroy the values of freedom and liberty which we have enshrined in our nation as Americans. We have a responsibility to stand up for that. You can say that, this is beyond me, but it's not. In 1776, it took a few men to go, this is not okay. We deserve to live in a better world. And eventually they created the United States of America. It took a few people to stand up, and then multitudes followed. So you have to take that role. And I think we're very fortunate that an organization like CUFI exists today, because CUFI gives you that medium. Whether you want to get educated, go on the CUFI website. We have the microhistory videos, you have educational materials. Please sign up to become a member, and when there is a moment where we need to stand with Israel, you'll get an email to you into your inbox telling you what you need to do. And when you get that email, act. Don't get that email and go, okay, others will. You have to treat this like you are the only one fighting this. When we fight anti-Semitism in our country, you have to act like this fight depends on you, because that's how we defeat these evils. But as we come to the end of the year, I would ask you, please support the work CUFI does. CUFI has a small team, and we are changing America. We're changing the world for the better. We're sending out a powerful message that Israel does not stand alone, that we will not remain silent in the face of anti-Semitism, because this is against our values as Christians, this is against our values as Americans. So please support the work we do, because without you blessing us, without your prayers, without your financial support, we simply do not have the ability to do what we do. So please go to our website, cufi.org, have a look at our end of year campaign giving. We have a generous donor who's going to match donations up to a specific amount, which I honestly can't remember the amount right now, but it's because of your prayers, it's because of you playing a part, it's because of your financial support, it's because of your desire not to remain silent and stand up to evil that CUFI is the organization it is today. So please continue supporting us. Please keep us in your prayers, and please do not remain silent, because the future of not only our country, not only of our future generations, but the good of the world depends on each and every one of us. From Jerusalem, I bid you good night and God bless you all.